Welcome to Pour the Wine, It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Garry.
And you can send us an email to pourthewinei'sromcomtime@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts about anything Hallmark related. We would love to hear from you.
We sure would, because 2026 has been a pretty good year for Hallmark.
It has been a really good year so
yes,
far.
Yes, it has. So
Great.
if you want to support us, you can do that by hopping over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. Or if you like watching us on YouTube at Pour the Wine It's Rom-Com Time, you can click that like button. Then click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new episodes.
And I think the ratings and reviews really help other Hallmark fans find us.
Yes. So please give us those ratings.
Please.
So you can find us so much easier.
Oh, so much easier. Well, today we're going to be reviewing episode 4 of season 4 of The Way Home, titled We've Got Tonight. It originally aired on the Hallmark Channel on Sunday, May 10th, 2026, and is streaming right now on Hallmark Plus, along with all the other seasons and all 3 previous episodes of season 4.
Yes, which has been really good.
Yes.
This episode was directed by Michelle Latimer and written by Jessica Runk. So let's go ahead and drop the synopsis.
All righty. When Nick arrives back in Port Haven, Dell throws a party like old times. Alice has to keep her distance from young Colton and Dell, but tries to learn more.
Yeah, the kitchen parties were a blast back in the 70s and 80s, huh?
I guess.
Well, this is the part of the episode where if you haven't watched a movie, we suggest you stop listening to us. Go watch it.
The episode, not the movie.
The episode. Yes, I'm sorry. We're doing TV series.
We're doing TV series.
Anyways,
that's all right.
Go watch it. Come back. Turn us back on. Let us know what you think. Shoot us an email. Give us a rating. Whatever. There you go.
All right.
All right. So where did we leave off?
We left off. Let's see. Alice met Tessa.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jacob is in Toronto.
I think so. Yes.
He's not at home.
He's definitely not at home.
Dell's horse gets a little wonky by that particular area. I guess it's on her land, right? Where there's a big rock, where the suitcase was found, where
the path to the pond.
Alice buries something too there, doesn't she?
Yeah, she buries her time capsule.
Her own time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Kat was in jail. Or is in jail. She's behind bars. Kat is behind bars.
Kat is a drunk. What's going on?
So that's where we are. Now we're all caught up. And go.
And go. So we open up with Jacob in his new whiskey bar.
Mm-hmm.
In comes a couple, a man and a woman. And I don't know. Do you think that's Tessa? Because it kind of looks like her.
I mean, it might look like her, but how would she have not aged?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that? Don't you still? That's confusing to me.
It is confusing.
I know
to
you
me,
keep
but
you
but
kept
they
saying you
made a
thought that was
big
Tessa,
deal.
and I'm like,
but they made a big deal
maybe.
about it. Like there was some banter there, so I don't know.
I agree. I think that's definitely going to end up coming back because doesn't she say something like, "Maybe I'm old school,"
Yeah,
right? Or he says that, or she says that, and he said, "Oh, that's right." She says she's old school because her fiance wants to order a fancy schmancy drink.
Yeah, foo-foo.
A frou-frou drink and espresso
drink.
martinis, which are delicious, by the way, which we do like. And Jacob is like, this is a whiskey bar. We don't serve that kind of fancy schmancy stuff here.
Yeah, we're old-fashioned.
Yeah, so they talk about being old school. And then when she's leaving, she says, "Wish me luck." And I think you immediately said that's going to come back. She's going to say it, and somehow he's going to know it's her in some scene, in some scenario, right?
I think so. But then we get something surprising because Jacob turns around once they leave, and poof, in the mirror is Thomas from
1880, I don't know.
Which was interesting that they brought him back, and it's seeming like it's his conscience, right?
Yes, that's what I have that in my notes. It's like his conscience. Yes.
Oh, well, good. We're
Yeah,
samers.
we're samers.
Right. So that's interesting.
Well, and Thomas is kind of encouraging him,
Right.
right? I don't know exactly what he says at the beginning, but he's sort of encouraging him, and he is sort of his voice of reason, even though Jacob is kind of not listening to him.
He is totally not listening to
Right,
him. He's
right.
like, call your mom, call your sister, go back,
Yeah.
stop running, right? So then we move on to the next scene where Elliot and Alice are talking about the bracelet. Dun, dun,
And Kat.
dun. And Kat, sorry.
Oh,
yes.
no, you're talking about Elliot and Alice are talking about how Kat has time traveled and they don't know where she is.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's first.
Yeah. And that's when Elliot shows Alice the letter, Tessa's letter. Right.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And then in pops, you know who, boyfriend from 1976, Nick.
Nick. Was it 76? I don't know what
Or
year it was.
whatever year it was.
Yeah,
when
the
they
70s.
when they were all in high school.
Yeah, I love his character, and his character is really funny in this one.
It is really,
I don't remember him
really
being so
funny.
funny, but it's been a little
No.
bit since we've seen the other seasons. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was never like a jerk or anything like that.
Oh, no.
But they
no.
really made him kind of funny in this season.
Yes, I like him. So he's back, he's buying a house, and he's like, so what's the latest pond drama? It was kind of funny. He's just so curious. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so I wonder if something's going to end up happening with him. But, and I kind of wonder, like, are they going to make it so he and Alice can be together? You think they would do that?
No.
Okay.
I hope to God
in some
not.
realm, in some reality. I don't know.
Right. Well, they keep harping on, like, you got to stay together. Whoever's the jumper, the other person has to stay. They have to stay together, or they'll get left behind.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's a big theme in this episode.
I don't know
for sure.
Well, I thought it was a good scene.
Yeah.
Then we move on to Sam and Dell. Sam wants Dell to move in with him. It's the next step in their relationship. Mm-hmm. And Dell's kind of like, well, I want to, but I don't want to. Yeah. So I thought that was an interesting scene.
She's sort of like grinning through her smile, like, gritting her teeth while she's smiling. She's like, that's fine. I totally will do that. That's totally fine.
She's like, yes, we can move in.
Yeah. And then we see Kat. She's in jail, right? And Cliff, it's kind of an interesting scene between her and Cliff, because Cliff is kind of like, who are you really?
Right.
You're not from here. Of course, he's not quite on board with the time travel, but he knows. He's like, you don't sound like you're from here.
You don't have any money.
You don't have any money,
here?
Any ID. Like, what's going on, right? And then Fern shows up to bail her out of the clinker.
Kitty cat.
Kitty cat. She walks in. I just love that actress that plays her. I think
she is so good. She is so good. Yeah. So she pays the bail, and off they go.
Yeah. So she gets out of jail pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Well,
she does.
In our time, I don't know if she spent the night there or what, but until the morning time, until Fern could come and bail her out of jail.
Yeah.
She's.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then we can kind of finish that out, isn't that? Then they go back, her and Fern go to the pond because she's got to get back.
Right.
To jail.
Right.
And we find out that I was wrong.
Yes.
in my guess from last episode. I had obviously no idea. We obviously don't get screeners, and I hadn't watched ahead.
Yeah.
Because I did not believe that Fern was the one that drugged her. And as it turns out,
well,
it was Fern.
It was because she needed to keep her safe from the Augie boys.
Well, right. We know the reason now, but I was totally like, she is surprised she's that, like she's been drugged, but Fern looks surprised in that scene, and I was completely wrong.
Well, it was a good theory, though. I mean, if I would have noticed it, because you're the one that showed it to me, I would have said the same thing. Well, actually, I did say the same thing. I was like, oh, you're right.
It was so bummed. Proving once again that I have absolutely no clue.
But
and cannot predict a thing.
But
As per usual for me with mysteries.
Yeah, because Kate was also wanting to
Cat.
know, or Kat, I keep saying Kate. Kat also wants to know where she got that song from, Tainted Love.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because she was
Yes.
like, there's no way. It's like, what'd she say, 60 years? That song hasn't been written yet. It's going to be another 60 years before it is. And Fern is like, well, I heard it somewhere. Maybe you guys got it from us.
Yeah. Fern says something about
She's
how
good
they
at
do.
deflecting.
No, but it is kind of good because so do you believe Fern? Do you think she knew the song? Well, and Fern is kind of like, she basically says, I'll bet your version's just a cover, from the 80s. Like
Wouldn't that be
it's a
funny if it
remake.
was that in the TV series? That'd be funny.
Right. Now,
No,
so do we
I
believe,
don't.
do we believe Fern that
No.
she's known that song for ages? But actually, well, if Tessa had time traveled,
Mm-hmm.
well,
I know
because
where you're going.
when does Tessa time travel? Actually, she doesn't time travel till the 80s, right? Because
Right.
it's 76 when she sees Fern, or 78 or whenever it is
Mm-hmm.
in this episode, which I know we have it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
76,
Mm-hmm.
is that right? But we know that Tessa doesn't time travel until the 80s. So, and then we do find out in this episode, and this is a spoiler alert, that she did know Fern as a baby. So maybe Tessa sang it to her
I'm beginning to believe that's
when
what it
Fern was a
was.
baby. Maybe that was one song that Tessa remembered, and
But you
well,
jumped.
she would have all her memories from the present day.
She
But
was the nanny.
yeah, so maybe she was,
She
and
could
she
have been.
sang it as a lullaby. Maybe she did.
Okay.
And
Well,
that's why Fern said, I've known it for ages. Like, I feel like I've known it forever.
yeah.
I just put that together just now.
Mm-hmm.
Let that one be incorrect.
Yes. So
So,
then she jumps in the pond, and we move on to Nick, Elliot, Alice, Dell, and Sam. So I think Alice, Nick, and Elliot are walking up to Dell's house where Sam and Dell were standing outside, and they're talking they're talking about the time jump with Tessa. And here's where Nick's kind of funny. He's like, well,
yes.
if she's back in that time, that means she's probably dead. She
I
probably died there.
know.
And Elliot's like, well, let's not go there.
Let's
Let's not
squash the
go there
dead
yet.
mom talk.
And then that's when we see a new character.
A new character
Julian,
drives on up.
Canadian theater actor. He comes in. He's coming into the picture.
Right. And he is instantly flirty with Dell.
Oh, and Dell's kind of liking it.
Well, she's kind of enjoying the attention.
Enjoying it.
Kind of enjoying it. And Sam's like, hello.
She seems giddy.
Hey. Remember me?
But Sam's kind of like all nonchalant about it too. He's like, I trust her maybe. I don't know. That's the kind of attitude he seemed to be.
He doesn't get
exuding.
upset. He doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the interesting things in this one is Julian kind of is looking off in the distance, and Dell's like, what? And he says snapdragons. And she's like, what? Like she was taken aback. And he said, my mom planted them all over our farm. So I'm wondering if that's going to play into
Is there
something.
some connection
Yeah.
to snapdragons and that farm? I don't
Yes.
know. You think that particular farm, or just in general that's going to come back? The snapdragons.
I don't know.
I think
don't know.
everything is a clue. We should have researched snapdragons. There's probably
I don't know. I don't know.
Everything is a clue.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
man.
And then of course we we forgot to mention when Kat, before she jumps, she tells Fern that Grayson Goodwin is working with the Augie boys, and Fern doesn't want to believe it.
Yes.
In that moment, Fern is adamant that that's probably not true, or that's not true.
He's got all the money. It's not true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think he has all that money? Mm-hmm.
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 And then we kind of go, this really goes back and forth a lot in this episode too. So then we see Jacob again, and he's in the alley, and he sees and hears Thomas again. And Thomas is basically like, you're hiding. Right. You're not, you're not starting a new life. You're hiding from your old one.
Yes.
You're running from it. And that's pretty much what Elliot ends up telling him.
Yep. That's true. So much true. So much true. And then we get, they're all back in the house. Dell, Nick, the whole crew, Julian and all of
Julian.
them, and they're talking, and it was funny because Julian said when was talking to Alice and says, "Oh, that's interesting. Nick had a girlfriend or liked a girl."
No, he
back
says
in
his first love.
his first love was named Alice, and
Yeah.
and Nick kind of chokes on or gets ready to spit out whatever he was drinking, and they kind of like, like
He's
so
another one.
good.
He's so good in this episode.
Yes.
And he's not in the whole thing, but he's in it enough
Yep.
where he's like sprinkled throughout. He's really good in this episode. I really like him.
Right.
Nick.
Then we get Kat walks in and everybody's like, "Oh my God, where you been?" She's all like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm back." And they go up in the room, her, Elliot, and Alice, and she tells them what happened. And she noticed something. The bullet casing had what was it, a crown, an emblem on it?
Like the family crest or something.
And it was the same image that was on Grayson's gun handle in the book that she was reading. So they found that out. So, something.
So there's a connection with Grayson and
right,
potentially his gun. We don't know that it was him, but it was
right
related to him somehow, that bullet casing that was found in the tunnel. Yeah.
So who was he shooting at?
Which we kind of suspected anyway. I mean, it's in the house he was remodeling and
Right. So. And it looked more modern than it did back in the old times. So yeah.
What, the bullet itself?
Yeah, the bullet casing itself.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah. All right. So then we get Kate, Alice, and Dell. They're talking.
Cat.
Oh, God,
Kitty cat.
Again, kitty cat.
It's not Kate. Cat.
I don't know why I'm saying Kate. Yes.
Catherine.
And they're kind of talking
Catherine.
and having a good time. And kitty cat, tells Dell that she's thinking about closing the paper because she's just not interested in it anymore. And I think it's because when she met Fern back in the day, it was hopping. And now it's kind of like nobody comes in. There's nothing really good to write about. So she's kind of, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Well, I think she's just not sure.
Yeah.
Like where she wants her life to go. What I actually love about that particular scene is that, Dell tells Kat and Alice, you almost have me saying Kate now, tells Kat and Alice that Sam has asked her to move in with him. And they're both like, wait, what? Especially Kat. She's like, let's go back to that, please. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And Dell is sort of not feeling it. She doesn't know if she wants to settle down. And she's like, maybe I want to travel. And Kat is sort of like, but you never do. Yeah. Like you never leave the farm.
You always stay here.
And she said, age doesn't determine how quiet your life is. And I was like, that is so true.
Profound, right?
Like everybody has a certain image of people over a certain age, and it's like you still want to do stuff,
I sure as heck
unless you're physically incapable. But I mean, for the most part, your brain is still working. You want to travel, and that's the time you want to do it.
Yeah,
because you've raised your kids. You kick them to the curb. They're all good. But I thought that was interesting, and that's sort of where they start talking about the parties and.
Yeah, Dell tells them that their house used to be the party house back in the day.
Yeah, she said that we had the best kitchen parties, and then she said it was an East Coast thing, and I'm like, was that a thing? Did you ever hear about kitchen parties?
No,
I didn't know they were referred to as. Is that like a? that like a thing? I don't know.
We refer to them as house parties. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
back in high school, back in the 80s. So yeah, and then. Kitty Cat, she kind of says, but I don't remember them. And Dell was like, well, you wouldn't because you were born in 82 and we stopped them as soon as you were born.
Right.
So that comes into play.
And that's a key year that comes into play a little bit later on in the episode. Right.
Yeah.
So then you have kind of more scenes with Nick where he's trying to find out, he wants to know what Kat found out when she was traveling. They're at Coyle's and Alice and Nick are kind of chatting and
talking about jumping
and then Jacob, Kat is trying to call Jacob, but he won't pick up.
I know. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Pick up, dude. Maybe he's got a secret. Maybe him and Tessa were a thing. Anyways,
maybe. I don't know.
We'll move on.
And then Kat, she goes to the newspaper office because they don't want her to time travel right now
They put her in
because she could be in
timeout.
trouble because the Augie brothers want to, kill her. And so they think she's in danger in that time.
Yeah.
So she's going to do her own research on Grayson Goodwin. So she goes to the newspaper office to dig everything up and, find all the articles and everything.
Right. And they put her in pond out.
Yeah, pond out. Is that what they said?
No.
Oh, okay, you just say it instead of time out, pond out.
I made it up.
Okay, you're just making things up. And that's when she finds Grayson's marriage certificate.
Yes.
And we see that he did not, in fact, marry Fern.
No, Allison. Or,
Annalise.
Fern. Annalise.
Right. He married Annalise.
Annalise, yep.
He did not marry Fern, and that surprises Kat.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, why are you surprised? You warned her about him. So I'm a little confused. You warned her about him, and then you're like, oh, they didn't marry. Why not? I have no idea.
And you would have thought she would have said, maybe it was because I warned
know.
her about Grayson.
I thought that was a little bit odd.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's like, she didn't marry him. I can't believe that, And then they find out that Grayson had a sister that died young.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to play into everything, if it will or if it won't. And that's when Kat sort of really decides she's definitely going to close down the paper and that it's time
to
do something else. Yeah.
And here's an interesting theory. What if Grayson's sister dying had to do with the Augie boys, the Augustines? And maybe he's, getting revenge.
Maybe.
Just putting it out there.
It could be. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Don't know. We'll find out. So then Alice, she decides she wants to jump again. But her mom can't jump, but she can.
Right. She's like, bye.
So she jumps back in and she shows up at Dell's and Colton's house. And this is funny because she's right next to the tree and people come walking up and they don't see her.
Right.
Which is so funny. But anyways, so it's Tessa and Victor.
Mm-hmm.
And they're outside before they go in and they're talking. And Victor goes in, but Tessa stays back and notices Alice. And they have an interesting conversation.
Yes.
So Tessa is like, what are you doing here? And Alice, just not thinking, said, I just came out. And she's like, well, let's go back in. She's like, no, but don't tell them I'm here. And she goes, you didn't just come out of the house. And she's like, yeah, well, I remember what you did. You took money out of Coyle's cash register. And she's like, oh, you got a good memory. That was a while ago. So I don't know where we are, maybe 2 years later.
This is 70. It's 79. We end up finding out it's 79.
All right, so a year or two later.
Yeah.
So they kind of make a pact, and they don't say anything, and she goes on in the house. So
Tessa goes into the house. Alice stays outside at first and kind of peeks in. And what I think is so great about this is, she's kind of looking in on them having this kitchen party, and it's Dell and Colton, Tessa and Victor, and there's a couple other guys there, right?
Yeah, we don't know who they are,
and we don't know who.
And
friends
they don't
of theirs.
mention their names. So
right.
Yeah.
And then and Colton's playing the guitar and singing, and they're just kind of having a lovely time. They're having wine. Hello, they're having wine.
Cheers.
And Evie kind of tells Tessa that she's glad she's there.
Yeah.
And Tessa's kind of excited because she feels like she has friends for the first time.
And in the meantime, Alice is in the house now behind the staircase. She's listening to this.
Right. She can hear all the conversation. And then they go back to the present day where Dell is setting up for her party.
Mm-hmm.
And she's putting flowers on the table. And the flowers are from Julian.
Ooh, the Snapdragons.
The Snapdragons, right? And he walks in and he's like, oh, I see you got my flowers. And, okay. It's a little forward, but okay.
And Dell, she was dancing around. She was all getting into it. She's having a party. Julian's coming over.
Well, did you notice that song that's playing on the radio is Dancing in the Moonlight? And that's what Colton is singing in 1979.
That's right. Yep.
on the guitar. So
That's right.
I love how this series
Writes that way.
parallels
Yes.
the different timelines like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It was
And
very
she's
good.
listening to it because she remembers, she's reminiscing, right? And so
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that. Or maybe she's playing it first, then they go to the 70s and he's playing it. I can't remember which came first, but
Right.
yeah. So Colton is singing in the 70s and Dell's listening to it on the radio. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
I know
And what was
transition.
interesting back where Evelyn and Colton and Dell were is Evelyn hands Tessa or hands Dell a glass of wine and notices she doesn't drink it.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of has this smile like she
Mm-hmm.
knows that she's pregnant, but nobody
Mm-hmm.
knows yet because they haven't said anything.
Right.
So that was an
Right.
interesting scene too. So,
Yeah. And we kind of were like,
clues, clues, clues
did she
here.
have a baby and lose it, or did she have a baby and like
Gave it
what happened to
away.
the baby?
Right,
Right.
right.
Because she never says either way in this episode. And then Tessa is walking around the house and she has found the book that records the births and deaths of the Landrys.
Right.
Right. And she asks Cole specifically about Jacob's entry.
Yes. From
And we
the
find
1800s.
right. And it's Cole's great great granddad, right?
Yep. Great, great,
And
great.
at that time, that's when Fern, she comes downstairs,
Ooh.
Colton's grandma, and she's like, you know,
Yes.
and she's instantly like angered, upset by the sight of Tessa, and no one knows why, and neither do we yet, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, put that book down. You'll never be family, you know? And
Yeah.
Tessa's just like,
What?
what? Oh my gosh.
I don't know
Okay. You
you.
know? So yeah, it's just, it actually was a really good scene.
Yes.
I think that worked because then you kind of see, but your brain is constantly like, well, Fern knows her, but she doesn't know her yet.
Right. And that's what I
And
love about this writing.
yeah. So
Because,
how is that? So when
yeah.
she jumps, she doesn't jump until late. So you're trying to figure all that out in your head while watching, while taking notes for our episode. My brain can't handle this sometimes.
Well, remember, I think it was episode 2 that Fern, I think Kat had talked to Fern about something, and Fern had said, "Well, you haven't jumped yet to figure it out." And
Mm,
so now it comes back again where Tessa doesn't realize or doesn't know what Tessa or Fern is talking about because that part hasn't happened for her yet.
right.
So it's so
Right.
cool how they write. I don't know how they must have a room full of sticky notes of where they're
Yeah.
at in the
And go back and
timeline. Because
forth.
my
Yeah.
gosh, man, this is crazy.
And then in the present day, you have the kitchen party with Julian and Dell, and they're kind of having not a heart to heart, but you know, he basically tells her that she's real comfortable with Sam,
Right.
and she's like, "That's a good word for it." And I think that's when she starts to really realize that maybe she's settled a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and she's
Yeah.
not really ready to move forward.
Yeah.
You know, and Kat makes her announcement that she's closing the Herald.
Yeah.
And then Julian gets up and does some Shakespeare quote from The Tempest.
Yeah,
And
I know. I
it
don't know
was
how
really
people
good.
remember those lines, but
Well,
gosh,
he's an
golly.
actor. So,
Well,
I
I
mean, it's
know,
just
but
like any other
man.
lines, but we're not Shakespeareans here. So
But we do
I'm
find
not as
out
familiar with that.
a good piece of information on Julian because Dell had said, how did, Nick come about? And he told her,
How was Nick born?
right, like, because he's his biological father, but not in the way that we think. We find out that a couple, Jude and Joyce, went to him, asking, I guess, if he would be the father of their child. So I guess
Right.
he was a donor,
Right.
and
He
that's how
said he
he
was
came
happy to
about.
do it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So something's up because they wouldn't just mention that out of nowhere. So
I think
keep
something's up with that. I don't know
keep a
what.
lookout
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right. So
And then we go back to the past. Fern is pacing. She's outside. She's very
yes.
troubled. And she's like, the end is her beginning. The beginning is her end. The end is her. And she's very, very upset.
Yeah.
And Alice tries to talk to her at first, but then Dell and Colton come out and or no, it's just Dell
It's
comes
just
out,
Delph
right?
at first,
And
and
tries to talk her and get
mhm.
her, to calm down. And then Fern goes back inside. And that's when Colton comes outside and they have this moment. Alice is watching them.
Yes. And
Again,
behind the
this is
bushes.
1979. And that's where Alice finds out that Dell is pregnant in 1979, but quickly calculates that her mom wasn't born until 82. So
What's up?
they didn't know that Dell had a miscarriage, or
She had
maybe
a baby.
had a baby that they didn't keep, or something.
Yep.
I don't know. They thought something happened, but the baby didn't. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe something's gonna come of that too.
Right. Yeah, but and that's interesting. That again, that's why I'm saying they must have a room full of these sticky notes to keep up with all this stuff. So
yeah.
All right. So then we move on to, I guess, Sam and Dell. Dell's in the horse stables, and she's kind of, brushing the horse when Sam walks in, and this is where, poor Sam, he gets dumped.
I know, he really does. He gets the kick to the curb in the
the
stable.
No pun intended, but he gets the boot.
Yeah, but I think that Dell was a little bit unfair because she's kind of like, he's basically like, if you need space, you need space. And she's upset that he's not fighting for her.
Right.
But I think Sam, once you get to a certain age, sometimes you're like, do what you, if you want to be with me, be with me. If you don't, I'm not going to force you.
He's like, I'm not playing these high school games. Come on.
Yeah. That was the only part about that I really didn't like. Like she's just kind of, I think a little bit, I don't know.
Right.
She's irritable in that moment and he doesn't know why. And then she's upset at him because he didn't fight for her. And he's just like, look, now we still don't know what's up with him. Something's up with him, obviously. We don't know what, but I did sort of feel like,
Right.
She was a little bit unfair to him. And then then we go back to Elliot.
Right.
Right. And he has left town and no one knows where he is. And he has gone to see Jacob to try to bring Jacob back home.
Yeah.
Because Dell is really struggling with him not being there. And, she's already lost him once. She feels like she's losing him again. And she really wants him there. And there's this misunderstanding because Jacob thinks the family is better off without him.
Right.
That he's too much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to be without him.
Right.
Because they love him and they want him home. So.
Yeah. But he hears them and he thinks they're having a good old time. And he just doesn't want to come back.
Right.
When he had called earlier. But, come on, man. Just go back. Your mom misses you. They all miss you.
Right.
Go back. Come back. Come back.
Come back. And then you have the big reveal of the handwriting. We realize, Kat realizes that the handwriting is very similar to the letter that Elliot's mom wrote to him.
Mm-hmm. Because
the writing that's in the writing that's in the family
almanac
book, the family almanac, the birth and death book. And that's when they realize that she's the one who wrote Jacob's death date on there. And she also wrote Fern's birth date on there.
Yes.
Which is why I think she might have been singing Tainted Love to her.
Yes. You're absolutely correct.
When she was a baby.
A baby.
So then we find out Tessa was in fact in 1882, 1896, and 1925.
Wow.
But we don't know where she is
now
currently.
And you can't get back without the person who jumped with you to that particular time frame, right?
Right. So that's when they realized that, which I think we had kind of assumed Griffin jumped with her, but then left and she got stuck.
Right.
She stayed, and you can't jump with someone who's not from your era and get back to your era.
Right.
So if she were to jump from someone from 1882, they would probably go further back in time.
That's why I think Jacob jumped her back to the present. And that's why she's not as old as she is. So that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because he would be allowed to jump her back to the future because he's
originally
from that time period, from the present time, which Tessa,
could be. Could be.
We'll find out.
That's, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Yep. And then we have Nick walks in while Alice and Kat are discussing the book. And he is so funny in this moment too. And he's like, I always walk in at the most interesting times. And Alice is like, is this just the thing you do now? It's just such a good, it was so good, and then that's when we find out all the information about
Right.
Tessa and the book.
Yep.
And then Kat says, Tessa's stuck there. I'm going to go get her,
Yeah.
And of course, Nick's like, I want to go. Me, pick me.
Well, at first, Alice wanted to go with her.
Yeah.
And Kat was like, no, because of the Augie boys. And so
right, 'cause of the
Nick
danger.
decides, hey, I'll be your bodyguard. I got special skills that you don't
Yeah.
you don't know I have, right? And I'm thinking, okay, here we go.
Oh, boy.
But how giddy was he that he was
giddy. That's the word I wrote in my notes. Nick was giddy to go.
He's like, I'm going in the time machine.
And he's like, do I get a towel? What do I do? Do I need to change of clothes? And Kat's like, calm down. Calm down. I mean, it would be exciting but scary, but I think it would be a little bit exciting. But he is just like over the moon excited to go. So
and then when Alice says, but if you get separated, you get stuck. And he's like, well, I was excited until then.
Well, because she's like, do you still want to go? And he said, well, I'm less sure now, but yes. Because he might get stuck there. Yeah, it was pretty good. That scene was really funny to me. I enjoyed that a lot.
Right. So, so what happens next? I think
so. Jacob goes to try to convince Elliot to come back home.
Right.
Did we already talk about that?
Or Elliot tries to get Jacob to come back
sorry.
home.
Yes. Elliot tries to get Jacob to come back home.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jacob, you get Kat and Nick holding hand in hand, and they jump into the pond.
Right. And then
we move on to where Dell is just horseback riding, and she's over by the rock in the path to the pond and notices somebody walking in.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know. So it's either going to be Sam, Julian, or Colton. We don't know yet.
I don't know how it could be Colton.
Well, he's jumping back and forth, so we don't know.
Well, but okay, yeah, I can't
think
describe
it's
what I'm thinking right now because my brain is mush. But I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we don't know who it is. We just see a figure move.
Yeah. And she decides to ride her horse into the path, into the forest, and the horse is not liking that. And
well, she thinks it's Colton, right? Doesn't she say his name?
Yes,
right.
She thinks it's Colton, and the horse ends up throwing her, and poof, she is knocked out.
Yes. And then, I think it's interesting because when Kat and Nick jump, there's a song that starts to play, and I looked it up, and it's the song that Colton played at once, and then Alice sings it during the party.
Man, that's crazy.
And then it plays at the end, and it's a song called Song for Myra, and I really, really like that song.
Wow.
I think it must have been the song is actually from 1974. It was originally released in 1974. Yeah, but I was like, oh, it's such a good song. And I don't know who the artist was that was singing it on the way home. I don't think it was the original art. It sounded like a more modern version of it, but I need to find that. I need to find that. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So, and then she's knocked out. Dell is knocked out, right?
Yep. And that's it. End scene.
Well, yeah. And now we got to find out. We kind of have seen previews for the next episode where Dell is seeing Colton. So is she knocked out and seeing him?
Right.
Which I presume is the case.
Right.
That's
a good point. But you know how they edit those next scenes or next episodes, right?
Yeah.
They make you think one thing when actually it's another.
It's something else.
But that's another good theory there, that she's just dreaming it. So we'll find out. It's coming up.
I was just trying to find the lyrics to that song, but well. All right. So if you had to pick a best moment, what's your best moment of this episode?
I think my best moment was just Nick.
Yes,
being
I agree.
Giddy about getting to jump into the pond. I just thought he
that was a great scene. I would agree with that. My favorite moment of the episode.
Yes, it didn't look forced. He genuinely looked like he wanted to go jump, man. He was excited.
Yeah, and we say the best moments are not necessarily the most revealing moments in the episode. It's just what we personally liked.
Yeah.
What about, so I'm the same as you. What about character of the week?
Oh, it's definitely Nick. I'm giving it
100%
to
it was
Nick,
Nick.
man.
I'm
He
so
was
glad he's
so
back.
good. Yes, I'm glad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is I had mentioned him before this
Yes,
episode,
you did.
like the night before, and then here
Yeah.
he is showing up.
And he just popped right up.
He
Look at
just popped
that.
right in. So
It's like serendipitous,
there
right?
you go.
Serendipity happening.
All right. So
All right.
out of 5 jumps, how many jumps would you give this one?
I would give this one a 5. I think we're back up to 5.
Yeah, I
Last
think this
episode
was
was
a
a
good
4 for me.
episode.
This was a really good episode.
Mhm.
I'm not even going to guess what happens because I really don't. I'm not even sure at this point. Like, you think the one girl is Tessa who walked into the bar, and I'm like,
Mhm.
she's young. How could that happen? Are they going to throw something else in, or was that what they were planning before they were canceled?
Right.
And
Well, you
then
never
at
know.
what point, like, I would be curious at what point did they find out and have to sort of structure the rest of the season? Because I think they were filming
Right.
in the middle of filming when they found out they weren't going to get renewed. So I'm just personally curious.
So some things might not get tied up in a nice little beautiful bowl.
No, I think they had enough time to do what they wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
It kind of sounds like, based on interviews I've
Right.
seen. I mean, I don't know that everything gets tied up with a bow, but I think, I hope we have some conclusion and maybe leaving some things open for a possible, movie down the road. I would watch a movie
Heck yeah, an
after
heartbeat.
the end of this.
In a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Yeah. It would be pretty cool. So,
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5 too.
all righty. All right.
So
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap. So again, if you would like to support Pour the Wine is Rom-Com Time, just hop on over to Apple Podcast or Spotify. Give us a 5-star rating so you can find us easier, and give us a review. Or hop on over to YouTube if you want to watch us at Pour the Wine is Rom-Com Time. Click the like button, click the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new episodes.
Make sure you follow us wherever you get your podcasts and on social media, especially Instagram.
Yes, we're getting there.
So you don't miss a thing. Until next time,
Cheers.
cheers.